dam is low and the grass is long. Color on their roof is wrong. Dirt beside the shed is gone. It still feels like home.
Hi, I'm Nelly from Woodvale, Victoria, Australia, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hi, my name's Nelly and welcome back to my sewing room. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to talk to you about quarter-inch quilting seam. A quarter-inch quilting seam is one of the most fundamental things that you have to achieve when you're starting to quilt. Your blocks aren't going to turn out right, your projects aren't going to turn out as expected to the correct size if you can't safely and correctly achieve a quarter-inch seam. Most sewing machines these days that you've got, the ones that you've been getting, have been actually garment machines, not quilting machines. So you need to get a quarter-inch foot attachment. The foot attachment that comes with the machines for the garment machines actually sets and sews seams at a 3/8 of an inch. So we need to get a quarter-inch, and a quarter-inch means that from the sewing line where you sewed across on the fabric to the end and the edge of the fabric is actually a 1/4 of an inch. So by achieving this, you're going to need a special foot. I recommend that you buy a branded foot. A branded foot means that if you've got a Toyota, a Brother, a Pfaff, Janome, Juki, Singer, whatever the brand of your sewing machine is, you contact that company from their website or from eBay and you buy the foot that suits that particular sewing machine. Cheapest and easiest way for you to find out exactly where they are is to go to your manual, and on the back of your manual there's usually this collection of addresses and phone numbers where you can contact the company. That's an easy way to sort it out. And from there you actually get photos of what the foot looks like, and then you can use that and you can check it up on eBay and you can buy them. The feet that I've actually researched for most of the common brands of sewing machines that you've been telling me that you've been using, the price starts usually at $23 is the dearest and $1.42 was the cheapest. And I feel that if you're going to spend this much money on your requirements like your rulers and your scissors and your rotary cutters, that to spend just this little bit extra money, I know that might be a little bit dear considering $23 for some people, but it will give you the perfect seam, and that's what you need to do to achieve these blocks. So let's pretend that you've gone now and you've got your foot and you're ready to go. So here's my foot here, and there's a few different connections that come with feet. This is called the shank, this is called the throat, and this is your free arm under here. So mine is actually what they call snap-on varieties, which means that they just drop a foot down and it picks it up and we go from there. So bring your needle up to the top position. Make sure that you've got the pedal out of the way while we're doing this test, because you don't want to accidentally put your foot on the pedal, because you're going to A, break your ruler, B, break your needle and give yourself a hell of a fright. So we need to make sure that the pedal's right out of the way, but we need the light on to check that we've got it. So we're going to put the needle in the center position. Some machines recommend that you move the needle to suit the quarter-inch. We are not moving our needle. The reason for not moving a needle is that once you turn your machine off, if you've got a computer in it, it's going to reset. So it's going to go back to the original setting. So each time you turn your machine on, if you're quilting with it, you're going to have to reset, remember to reset your needle position. So I believe that it's very important that we always leave our needle position in the center position. My machine either goes all the way to the right or all the way to the left. There's no in between. So center position is the best way to go. Don't move your needle. It's only going to cause you dramas and you're going to have to start again. Take yourself one of your 4.5-inch square rulers. Make sure on the ruler that you can see a really clear line of the quarter-inch marking. So it's a 1/4 inch from the edge of the ruler. Pop your ruler under the foot of your sewing machine. I want you to drop your needle down onto the ruler. Make sure your foot's pedal is out of the way. Make sure there's no way, no chance of you ever turning it on and actually starting the machine, because you'll give yourself one hell of a fright. You'll break your needle and you'll break your ruler. Now very gently, just lower your needle right down onto that line to make sure that it's going to hit that line. and as it's hitting the line, make sure that it's right in the center of the line. And if it's not in the center of the line, just give it a little wriggle and just give it a little move, and make sure you can get it as straight as you can. Once you've got it there, as for a beginner, I suggest that you mark it. So some of the videos that are on YouTube suggest a stack of stick-it notes or some felt. But as for a beginner, because we're going to be doing 1/4 inch seams on half square triangles and stuff like that, where we need to put the block in on the diagonal, I suggest we mark it with a texter. So I'm just going to get the texter now, and I'm going to just run a line down onto the machine. Don't worry if you think you're going to deface your machine, because you're not, because a bit of Yuki oil will get that off. Now you're going to remove your plate, and that is your marker there for the perfect 1/4 inch seam. So now I've pre-organised these. What I want you to do now is to go to your scrap bag, get some scrap fabric, and I want you to cut just 2 lengths, 1.5 inches wide. Okay, so I've just done these out of my scrap bag, and you can have a look and you can see there, they're cut 1.5 inch wide. Okay, so I've got 3 of them there. Just contrast ones so that you can see. So now bring your press a little back, because you're going to sew now, because you're going to test your machine and test your foot. And don't worry if it's wrong, because I've actually had one from a company that was wrong, and it was okay. We can take it back and we can deal with that. So if you have a problem about it, don't fret, don't hesitate. Just leave me a comment in the bottom of my page here, at the bottom there, and I can get back to you, because I get back to everybody. So you come and talk to me, and we can work together, and we can get your foot sorted. Okay, so I'm going to drop this down now, bring my cottons around to the front, and I'm going to drop it down now, and I'm going to sew a seam straight down on this one piece of fabric here, okay, and line it up. So drop that down. It's going to make a bit of a noise now. So I'm going to feed the fabric, just watching on that line. Remember, this side is where the ruler was, so I need to make sure that that fabric runs just along that line there and the edge of my foot. So I've got 2 things that's helping me line it up so that I can get it right. So I'm going to sew down here now. Now I'm watching the end of the foot as I put it through. Pull it out. I've got an automatic cutter at the back there, so it's a little bit easier. Now I'm going to take my second bit and I'm going to line it up again. Now if you're a bit nervous about holding bits, remember I've been sewing for a while, so I'm a little bit different, and I can actually hold bits together and hold them together. You can grab your pins, remember the yellow head pins, put the fabric exactly together, pin like this, and go up this end here, exactly together, and pin like that. Remember how I told you that the machine has a mechanism that your pins must be straight and must be like that. And now you can pin. And now you can pin, just jump over the pins, or sew over the pins. It'll be okay. Go down again. Just check that you're lining it up. Don't go too fast, and have your seam and have your stitch length rather set at about a 2.5 to a 3. I run it a 3 because mine is really tiny, so there's just a small seam. Okay, now we've got them done. I'll just get these cottons out of the way so that you can see what I'm doing, so they're not in no problem. Just cut them off. Okay, so now I'm going to iron it. Okay, so when you're ironing these, you can't always say dark to the light. You can't always do that, because it's about butting, which is another lesson in itself. So we're just going to iron these. Don't pull the fabric, don't press it. Just let the fabric just pop itself down and lay itself back down. Just lay it down like that, and we've ironed it open. So what we've got now is we've got a bit of fabric that's sewn together with a bit in the middle. Okay? Now, watch my back. Back around here again we go. So now we're going to grab our ruler, just like that, and we're going to sit it on top of our bit that we sewed. Okay? And you will see that if I sit that on top of that bit that we sewed, that is a perfect inch. That is 1 inch between each seam and each seam. Remember, we cut fabric that was 1.5 inch, so we've got a 1/4 inch hidden in the seam and another 1/4 inch hidden in the seam. So that makes 1 inch. So between there and there we have 1 inch. So that tells me that my 1/4 inch seam is perfect. It is right to go. But this does need a lot of practice. You have to practice, practice, practice to get it right. But this is a perfect test. Now just say for instance you've done your test and your seam here is too small. Okay, so it's a little bit like this. Okay, so it looks a little bit small. Okay, I'll just pretend for you that it's smaller. Okay, so that, just say for instance you've done that, okay, and that's what your seam is. You can see that that's wrong, okay. That means that you've taken too much of a bigger cut on this side here. If you turn over on this side and then it's too big, that means you haven't taken enough cut there. Is your fabric aligned properly? Is it right? We don't know. So it's just another bit of get another two or three pieces of fabric, sew them together again, and check again, and until you get it right. And once you've got it right and you can accurately sew that, then you're right to go. So one of the things that I would suggest once you're doing that is practice, 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 is to probably cut up and make something, because it can be a bit boring just sewing fabric together. So I recommend a pattern sort of like this. This one's from the Scrap Lab. This is a free pattern, and it's from All People Quilt, and it's two sites that actually have it. I'll link the links below, and feel free to go and have a look for yourself. And this is actually grabbing two great big long strips of fabric, or in this case it's been a red and a white one, great big long ones, sewing them together, then turning them, ironing them open, and then cutting them, and then butting and joining them back together. And that gives you a really beautiful, easy table runner to make by practicing and using your 1/4 inch seam. So I'd like to thank you so much for joining me today in my sewing room. And don't forget, any questions or any comments or any queries, leave them below. I'm more than happy to help you with your foot and with any problems of your sizing of your seams. And remember, today's takeaways are buy a branded foot. So find out where you can contact from your machine, whatever brand your machine is, and they're easy to see. Even if you've brought it off a garage sale, you'll find the brand here, and if it's been, say it's old and it's been gone, you find the brand on the back of where the electrical details are on the back of your machine as well. Again, look at sites and look at eBays, but buy a branded foot that matches your machine. Measure with your rulers, mark on your machine, test on your fabric, practice, practice, and until next time, thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.